going to ask for Mr. Blom to speak to that. If we must have a plan, if we cannot remove them without that, if you could provide any input on that, Mr. Blom. I do see your name. Okay. And then I'll go back to board members.
Thank you, Chair Ellis. Mark Blom, General Counsel. Under the Safe to Learn Act, the school board, every school board in Maryland, needs to have either SRO coverage in the schools, and let me be a little more specific and use the word assigned. Every school board needs to have either an SRO assigned to the school or provide adequate law enforcement coverage. So that means that we are not mandated to have SROs, but we would be obligated to have a plan to provide for adequate law enforcement coverage. Currently, the plan that we have submitted, as you know, has a combination of those two. We have SROs assigned to schools. We also have submitted a plan for adequate law enforcement coverage. Our current plan addresses the need for adequate law enforcement coverage by providing, and I'm going to quote here from the plan, that the Howard County Police Department has mandated all patrol officers to conduct 1 foot patrol per shift at all schools in their beat assignment. And all SROs have electronic key card and camera access to schools. So we are currently using the law enforcement plan to provide coverage where we do not have SROs. If the school board were to remove SROs, then I think that the appropriate staff would go back and revisit the plan and consider modifications, et cetera, et cetera. I can't speak to that because it's out of my area, but I suspect they would go and look at the plan and see whether or not they would want to make any recommended adjustments to it.
So to Mr. Blum, just an additional question. Given that we are in a virtual model without having students there regularly, are we still under the restrictions of the plan?
I believe as a matter of practicality, the plan has been suspended, but I think probably the full and final answer to that would come from the police department. I don't know whether their officers are making whether their patrol officers are making a stop at the schools. It may be because there's still the potential for vandalism, et cetera. So I can't speak for whether the police department is doing it, but certainly I think the focus has been scaled back because we're not in COVID-19. And as Dr. Martirano said, we do have the opportunity now, since essentially this has all been abated for a period of time. We have the opportunity to study this without actually having SROs in the buildings right now.
But we do have staff there. We do have staff in buildings, so our buildings are not empty.
Okay, we kind of know that, but we'll go on to Ms. Caternio.
Can you come back to